Hi everyone. In this video we will briefly talk about the globalization and world system. Before starting, please subscribe and support my channel. If you like it, please click the like button. Now let's start. In regard to globalization, as a definition, there is not much more trouble. In general, it can be defined as the destruction of the borders. However, the problem is that what is going to be done with this new situation? There is the problem of the recipe in terms of global economic condition. On the one hand, there are pessimist approaches regarding the ongoing path of globalization as one of the reasons of conflict and chaos. For instance, according to İmmanuel Wallerstein, who is a prominent scholar, in his world system theory, he makes good points regarding the division of the states, such as core countries, periphery countries, etc. On the other hand, there are people who have an optimistic vision concerning the current situation. For example, according to Baldwin and Martin, having been thinking the ongoing path of globalization, world economies moving towards a harmonious equilibrium as trade in goods to give way to trade in ideas. For me, their approach regarding the comforting appeal for the backward, let's say, poor or peripheral states. As a matter of fact, the present trajectories of globalization are causing the conflict and chaos rather than a harmonious equilibrium. In the first place, the ideas of Baldwin and Martin, on the basis of their article entitled as Two Ways of Globalization, Superficial Similarities, Fundamental Differences. In this article, they talk about the four stages concerning the two significant ways of globalization. And firstly, they display important points about the understanding the ways of globalization. For them, the first stage is high transport costs of trade in goods, and after the Industrial Revolution, transportation costs diminished. By this novel situation, the divergence of core and periphery countries emerged. They explain this divergence that before the first wave, the states are almost poor, but now there is an income divergence. Third stage is the relative stability from 1950 to 1970s. Nevertheless, the last stage they talk about does not fit the reality. As for the last one, it is about the decreasing of the cost of ideas and knowledge, and with the help of this, convergence takes place again. They say that when the cost of transporting ideas falls sufficiently, the core periphery configuration becomes unstable. Instead of moving towards a harmonious equilibrium or convergence in the current path of globalization, there is a conflict and chaos. It's right that in the current globalization, trade in ideas takes place, but it is limited with the intentions of the core countries. they are reluctant to share the technological developments by others, and thus they transport the old ideas by meaning they means core countries. Core countries transport the old ideas when they enhance their industrial technology. As a consequence, the beginning of the closing the gap never takes place, and the current path also causes the conflicts. According to Wallerstein, the modern world system had its origins in the 16th century. It is and has always been a world economy. It is and has always been a capitalist world economy. In other words, rather than a collection of economies, there is only one capitalist logic. In the meantime, the concentration of this system is the endless accumulation of the capital. Therefore, this one logic approach is to divide or polarize of the world as core, semi-periphery, and periphery. That is an inherent configuration of the world system. The core has a high level of technological development and manufactures complex products. And here, the role of the periphery is to supply raw materials, agricultural products, and cheap labor for the expanding edges of the core. Economic exchange between core and periphery takes place on unequal terms. In this interstate system, core and peripheral states are in rivalry and in conflict against each other, both economically and politically. Like in the Marxian theory, it can be said that core may correspond to bourgeois and periphery may correspond to proletariat. However, here it is seen a new category, which is semi-periphery. The existence of this semi-periphery is very crucial because, like in the middle class approach, in the Weberian theory, this is the stabilizer of the system. In order to bipolar conflict in the system, there is an emergence of balancing power in the system. That's to say, the presence of semi-periphery maintains the political stability of the system. These states are to benefit from periphery and contribute to the core. Also, the presence of these semi-periphery states is a very good means in terms of the manipulation of the people living in the peripheral states. By this, hegemonic states may say that, do you see the South Korea miracle? Don't you? And we can repeat this question again. Hegemonic states may say that, do you see the South Korea miracle? Don't you? Also, if you work like South Korea, you can increase your life conditions. They also repeat this narrative. And they can also accuse the peripheral countries by giving such miracle examples. They say that it's your responsibility to take off your current situation. To recap these, current path of globalization is one of the conflicts of chaos, and this because of the world system. This is the reason is the world system. And now there is a division of states, and core and periphery are in conflict against each other, but same periphery countries has an effect as a stabilizer of the political stability of the system. In other words, it may not be talk about the harmonious equilibrium. The present conditions lead to conflict and chaos. This is the end of our brief analysis of globalization and world system. Thank you for watching this video. Please support and subscribe my channel. See you. Take care.